We're going to construct the circumcenter of the following triangle. And the important thing to remember is that the circumcenter is the point of concurrency of the perpendicular bisectors. So what that means is that at any point in time, if you're having trouble constructing the perpendicular bisectors, you are more than welcome and in fact encouraged to go back to the videos that just teach how to construct perpendicular bisectors. This picture is going to be a little bit more complicated because instead of having one line segment, we actually have three, and those are the three sides of the triangle. So we need to construct the perpendicular bisector of all three sides of the triangle. So one thing I'm going to do to help out in the construction is I'm going to actually construct each perpendicular bisector in a different color so that I can keep track of which lines and arcs were created from which corners. So to create the first perpendicular bisector, let's just do the bottom side of the triangle first. It doesn't particularly matter which one you start with, but to construct the perpendicular bisector, you put the center of the compass, that's the pointy part, on one end point, and you draw an arc. And the arc needs to go more than halfway to the other corner, because step 2 is to flip your compass over and draw the same size arc from the other corner. And notice here, I am putting pressure on the pointy part, but not so much on the pencil or the pen aspect of it, so that it can spin freely. And these two arcs need to cross in what I call the football shape. And then the final step is to take your straight edge, in this case a ruler, and connect the top of the football with the bottom of the football in a straight line. Now please be careful using the pen and the compass. If you're doing that, please be careful not to poke yourself with the compass. So this point right here is a midpoint, which means the left and the right side are congruent, and it's 90 degrees. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to switch out the compass colors to a different color of pen. In your case, you're welcome to use colored pencils. You're welcome to do it in the same color all three times. Some people prefer to trace it in pencil or do it in pencil and then trace it in color so they can keep track. But we're going to do the same thing from another side. So maybe from the top vertex to the bottom left. So the compass goes on one center or one vertex. And again, you have to go half the distance to the other vertex. But notice this arc is not the same size as before. It's a little bit smaller because the side of the triangle is smaller. So there's my blue arc. And flip your compass over. Same thing from the other corner. And we have a blue football shape here that we're then going to connect using our straight edge. That goes through the midpoint, which means the two pieces are congruent. 2 tick marks instead of 1 though, because it's a different side of the triangle, and a 90-degree mark. Let me put some arrows here on the end of the red line, even though it's a little bit outside of your viewing area. And notice the red and the blue lines intersect. That's a good thing. They cross. They need to cross. And it's kind of a little debatable here as to whether we can stop. Where the lines cross, where the perpendicular bisectors cross, will be the circumcenter. And as we know, if two lines cross, they cross at exactly one point. There's no way for those lines to cross anywhere else. But the issue becomes, could we have made a mistake? So it's my opinion that in order to decrease the number of errors, we should go ahead and construct the third line and just make sure that the third one's going to cross where the first two cross. So let's do the third side. from here to here. Again, put the center on one of the two corners, and you have to go more than halfway. So here I am, more than halfway to the corner. This time I'm just using a straight pencil. Flip your compass around and go from the other corner. We have another football shape, which we can connect with our straight edge. Now, as you connect with your straight edge, make sure that you're getting the edges of the correct football. So like right, for example, here, it looks like I have the edge of the football, but if you look really carefully, it's the red arc with the pencil. Those are the wrong two arcs. We need this point right here where the pencil's arcs intersect. Make it a line, 90-degree mark because it's perpendicular, some congruency marks, and notice, almost perfectly right here, our pencil line crosses the red line, which crosses the blue line. And this point right here is the circumcenter. If your three lines do not cross at the exact same point, it means something happened. It could be anywhere. It could be that your compass slipped. It could be that you connected the wrong 2 points. There are lots of places in such a complicated picture to mess up, so you kind of have to go back and maybe just start again and see what happens. But be really careful. They should cross perfectly somewhere in your picture.